As I always say, Mondays are normally the most boring day starting the week. But however, I intend to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. So by the time this video is out, it should be Tuesday. But for today, we're going to be reviewing two events from two different promotions. The first one, this is one I haven't done for quite some time, and is none other than the British promotion RevPro with the 12th anniversary show. We have all titles that they have being defended. We have the Cruiserweight title, Tag Team titles, the Women's title, and the World title, World Heavyweight title defended. But the real question is, will there be any exchanges? Well, we'll see about that. And then, of course, we move on with Pro Wrestling Noah as they're almost finishing up with the N-1 victory. We will see who will make it all the way to the finals. And I think this is one that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we cap up our episode with some news updates to keep you guys updated what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics, such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, I can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also got real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool things as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have set aside, it's time to buckle up. So let's begin with our very first review, and that is from RevPro. Right, RevPro. Well, it's been a while since I did a review. I cannot recall, but this is the 12th anniversary. Now, those who are not familiarized with RevPro, it stands for Revolution Pro Wrestling. This is one of the hottest independent promotions in the UK. Now, they don't have a major promotion like we have here in the States, down in Mexico or Japan, possibly soon Canada, but this is one of the two popular promotions in the UK. We do have, of course, Progress Wrestling, but RevPro is one of those promotions you definitely would get behind, and they're just celebrating the 12th anniversary. Now, our first match, which is part of the main card, we have Ethan Allen versus Connor Mills. So, basically, I haven't been keeping up what's going on, but the match was pretty good. I liked it. It was a pretty good opener, but it was Ethan Allen who walked away with the victory on a submission hold. So, that led it right there. Now, our next match, we have a bit of a rematch. We have Zozaya. He faces against Ricky Knight Jr., But he doesn't come alone. He comes in. He's being uh, escorted, or should I say, valid by his uncle, Zack Knight, and of course his wonderful auntie, and many of you know her, Saraya. Yeah, that's right, the same Saraya. You knew her as Paige. So basically, yes, she was there too. And now, Ricky Knight Jr., oh man, he was a bit of a savage in this entire match. And that's exactly what he was doing. But he was able to pick up a win when he applied somewhat of a similar move that Homicide does, the the Gringo Killer or whatever, that one where he has the people on their backs but their back and necks are like bent down. So he had that move and it worked. So basically he got his little rematch on this one. So not bad for a win. Our next match, this is the first of many championships. This is for the undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship in a 6-way scramble match. We have El Phantasmo versus Will Craven versus Leon Slater versus Cameron Kai versus the champion Neon from, of course, CML, and of course the mystery opponent. Well, many of you probably would be surprised. It's Dante Martin from AEW. That's right, he was in it. You know that this match was going to be a very, very chaotic match because there's 6 people and there's only 1 ref. However, this match ended with, of course, Will Craven getting away with it by low-blowing Cameron Kai and then, of course, putting him in a jackknife, knowing too well that the low blow was too much pain for him to kick out, and he became the new undisputed British Cruiserweight Champion. And, of course, I can hear that weasel getting gray laughing. Someone out of the smirk, that little face out of that weasel. Next match, we have JJ Gale versus Tomohiro Ishii. Now, everybody knows Ishii is one of the toughest SOBs on the planet. So, yes. So, basically, that's what it was. Now, some of you may question that this event took place before All In. The answer to the question, yes, it did. And I failed to mention that. So, Ishii was involved. But JJ Gale, oh my God, he did everything. He knocked them down. So was Ishii. But Ishii did lariats. Nothing worked. But he only had one main weapon left, and that was the Brainbuster, and that did the job for him. Now, our next match is a no disqualification rules match. Apparently, RevPro has a brand new faction comprised of all women, and they call themselves the Cutthroat Collective. We have Mercedes Blaze, Sapphire Reed, Lizzie Evo, Mina Samuels, and Alex Windsor. And people who are standing up against her, we have Kanji, Rio, Nightshade, Bobby Catel, and of course the former undisputed British heavyweight British women's champion, and you guys know her in TNA, Giselle Shaw. So you know this was like a pretty good deal. The match was also chaotic, but not to mention there were a lot of things that were used: tables, ladders, chairs, trash cans, whatever they used. So practically that's what was happening. But unfortunately, it was Nina Samuels who won this match when she put, of course, Rio through a table, allowing for her and the Cutthroat Collective to pick up their win. Now, our next match, we have Donovan Dijak, or as you know him, Dominic Dijakovic, or Dijak. He faces against the loudmouth crybaby, Gabe Kidd. Yep, that's right, the same Gabe Kidd. Of course, that's what it was. And, of course, this was going to be pretty much a hard-hitting match, which it did. However, Gabe Kidd, proving that he is the man himself, like he always claims, he actually finished him off with the pile driver. So that ended right there. Our next match, this is for the undisputed British tag team titles. We have Sunshine Machine, Chuck Mambo, and TK Cooper taking on GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. So, as you probably know, yes, they probably that was the whole point of this match, to be part of it, and it was a pretty brutal match as well. Of course, we know the Grizzled Young Veterans are very cohesion, and so is Sunshine Machine, but the Grizzled Young Veterans always proven their point. However, it was, of course, a pretty impressive win by TK, who pinned James Drake, and just like that, Zach Zach Gibson, and just like that, it was over. We have brand new tag team champions. Our next match, we have the undisputed British Women's Championship. Now, this is between Mina Shirakawa versus Dani Luna. Now, I want to make a note about something that many of you may not know. Originally, this match was supposed to be Stephanie Vakir. Yeah, folks. Stephanie Vakir was supposed to be in this match, but we all know what happened. She really pissed off a lot of people for her actions. Now, I'm not going to deny that she's talented. I'm not going to deny about that. But I am going to say that what I think she did was really stupid. I think she should not have done what she did. She could have just finished off whatever dates she had left, and she could have gone with WWE as soon as she was done. But nope, she decided to do this. But many people think that maybe having Mina Shirakawa was a suitable replacement, and I'm sure that this is a perfect way, of course, for RevPro to build up a relationship with Stardom, which is something we're seeing with AEW. And I'm sure CML will definitely want to do the same thing too down the road. But nonetheless, that's what the whole point. Mina Shirakawa, of course, many people have often give her high expectations, and that's exactly what she did. And of course, she defeated Dani Luna with the figure 4, becoming the brand new undisputed British Women's Champion. So that means she will be taking that belt with her to Japan and show off to everybody. But if I was her, I wouldn't piss off hate, because that's the last thing they need. Now, our next match, we have two of the best submission technical wrestlers in the world. We have, of course, coming all the way from CML, Hechicero versus Zack Sabre Jr. I know I'm not 200% sure if they actually met with each other, but man, that match was pretty good. Of course, there was going to be, we know that Zack can pull himself out in situations when he knows he's going to be in a submission. Now remember, he knows ways how to escape try to escape before he's being put on the Paradise Lock. That's always been obvious. I mean, I'm sure Hechicero would do the same thing. But nonetheless, it was Zack Sabre Jr. who put Hechicero in the submission, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match is our main event, the undisputed British World Heavyweight Championship. We have Luke Jacobs versus Michael Oku. I thought this match was pretty good, because many of you may have heard that there's been discussions about having Michael Oku be part of AEW. Now, let's think back last year, guys. If you guys remember last year when AEW went to Wembley, Will Ospreay's match in RevPro, his last official match, was against Michael Oku. Someone commented about or said something, imagine Michael Oku going to AEW. That to me, it's like saying it's the possibility that next year he will be joining. And look what happened. 1 year later, 8 Life Grand, he's actually going to AEW. But I have to say the match was pretty great. I thought it was like ending a chapter for Michael Oku to go to the next level of his career, and I thought it was amazing. And Luke Jacobs picked up the win, walking away as the brand new undisputed British heavyweight champion. So basically, the RevPro will be in good hands, and from then on, we will see what happens. I'm sure we're all waiting to see what Michael Oku would do, but for now, we'll just leave things as it is. I'm happy I got able to review this one, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with our last and final review, Pro Wrestling Noah. Okay, Pro Wrestling Noah. As you all know, we're almost finishing up with this tournament. Now, keep in mind, this is a round robin tournament. And I have to say, throughout this entirety, covering the G1, the 5-star Grand Prix, and the N-1, was becoming a nightmare. But luckily for me, I have to say, I'm glad it's almost finishing up. We soon will do the Dream Star Grand Prix, which is Mighty Gold's first ever tournament. I can mostly focus on that too, on a singly, instead of having all 3 of them together, which is a real drag. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. However, I felt like a bit more concern due to the fact that 2 wrestlers had to be pulled due to situation. Of course, Asushi Kotoge broke his neck. Don't know how long he'll be out, but all his matches were forfeited. So he was supposed to face against Luis Mante, and that match, of course, Mante gained 2 points with the total of 8. As for Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., well, we all know what happened. He was not feeling too well. He also had to be dropped out. Manabu Soya gained 2 points from that, so the total of 10. But however, this particular day is a very interesting one for many reasons. This is where we will determine who will be in the finals. Let's go with Block B. We have Titus Alexander versus Alpha Wolf. Now, Alexander, I have to say, he had some pretty good matches. I think the best ones I've seen him in, of course, his main event in Corkin Hall, his match with Kenoh, were the best. But however, this one he could have gone into advanced further, but Alpha Wolf was able to put him away when he applied the Alpha Driver on him, and just like that, he gained 2 points with the total of 5. However, that doesn't mean that, of course, Alpha Wolf advances, but he's still in the bottom. Alexander did not advance one way or the other. Our next match, we have Ryohei Oiwa. Now, this is a critical factor of this match. He faces against Masa Kitamiya. Now, Kitamiya has no chance advancing, but if Ryohei Oiwa was going to win this match, he would have proceeded even further. We know he has one goal in mind, and that is the GHC heavyweight title, which, of course, is his main goal. But unfortunately, this match ended with Masa Kitamiya cutting his goal down when he applied the senton, giving 2 points. So basically, he ends up with 7, while Ryohei Oiwa also ended up in 7 points. Back to the B block, we have Tavion Heights versus Ulka Sasaki. I thought this match was incredible. I know that many of the Japanese fan base opened up to Tavion Heights. I thought it was amazing. It was beautifully, but Ulka Sasaki, you all know he's in a fantastic submissions. We know he has picked up many good wins, but this is one match, of course, where he had to pick up the win, even though he wasn't advancing. Tavion Heights could have advanced, but however, Ulka Sasaki was the one who put him down with a leg lock, and just like that, he had no other choice but to tap. Excuse me. Next up, we have, of course, Josh Briggs versus Dragon Bane. Of course, Josh Briggs is an incredible powerhouse, of course. So if he wins this match, he could automatically go to the finals. But, however, he did pick up the win when he applied a lariat in order to allow him to pick up the win. So that's what happened. Now, our next match, this is the B block. We have Yoshiki Inamura versus Kenoh. Of course, Kenoh, one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. He is like the most dangerous dude you ever meet. And of course, he was able to pick up the win when he applied the professional foot stomp onto him, with the points getting 2 points with a total of 11, and it was foretold he will represent Block B. So basically, that's how it ends with him in it. So Manabu Soya, who had 10 points, well, he was out, and it's fortunately for him. Now the B block, this was also another critical condition. Kairi Kiyomiya, if he wins, he's the one who will go to the finals. But he had to face against Jack Morris. Of course, Jack Morris knows that if he wins, he goes to the finals, but he can also cash in another opportunity for a shot of the GHC title since he's facing against the champion. But Kaito Kiyomiya was able to pick up the win, and of course he applied the Shining Wizard, which is the move that was given to him by none other than Keiji Muto, and just like that, it was over. So basically, in the end, the finalists will be none other than Kenoh and Kiyomiya, and this will be an epic. Now, these two guys, they had their history where, of course, Kenoh called them a fraud, Kaito Kiyomiya tried to prove him wrong, and now they're friends, but this time, they know what's at stake. They know that they have to protect Noah no matter what, even if they have to face each other. So I know there's something that Kenoh mentioned, and I will put that on the news updates. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for today. So let's just move on to news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's get started with upcoming events with the promotions. We have the GCW stuff and one MLW, so let's talk about the GCW stuff. Now, on the 31st of August, we have the Live Fast, Die Young in Chicago. They announced that Zilla Fatu will be in action to take on Blake Christian. Yeah, hope he beats his ass up. And then, of course, on the 14th of September in Detroit for the bad one, the GCW World title will be defended. Mance Warner defends the belt against He's Nice and Very Evil, Danhausen. And then we have the G Code on the 15th of September in Rochester. The GCW title, Masha Sliders defends the belt against Man Like Darius. And then finally, they announced for the Aura event on the 20th of September in Philly, Mike Bailey will go against Ruckus. Now, for MLW of no, not the MLW, the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is a Canadian promotion that was restarted by none other than Scott D'Amore. As you know, he announced certain wrestlers that will be there. Well, he just recently announced a match that I think many of you don't want to miss. I don't know if there's any way to watch it, but it's a good one. Josh Alexander will face against Konosuke Takeshita. So that's going to be a good one. Now let's jump into certain developments. Now, if you guys saw an All-In Will Ospreay in his Assassin's Creed attire, well, he said that who would be in his team in his brotherhood. Well, this is who he picked. Kyle Fletcher, no surprise. Mark Davis, no surprise. Cal Newman, no surprise either. Giselle Shaw, well, I know they do have quite of a friendship, and of course this one's a very interesting one. Pac. So what do you guys think? You know, Fletcher, Davis, Newman, Shaw, and Pac as part of his Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. You know, they should form a team. You know, like outside of their respective promotions. But yes. As you all know, Swerve Strickland signed a new contract with AEW, and more details came around from Fightful saying that this contract will go all the way to 2028. Now, I know that many WWE fans are probably saying he should have been with them, but I think there's more to it. I'm not sure, but yes. Now, many of you know I mentioned in Pro Wrestling Noah about the finals of the N-1. Well, Kenoh recently talked about that, about his match with, of course, with Kairi Kiyomiya, and this is what he said. If my opponent wasn't Kiyomiya, there are many techniques that I should never do. This is not the first time Kiyomiya and I have faced off. This is the 11th single match in 5 years. We fought in tags, 6-man tags, almost every day. The battle that can say be understood those who have many conversations about body to body, soul to soul. Pro wrestling requires in a relationship of trust and regard. I hate Kiyomiya as a human being, but as an opponent, I trust him more than anyone else. So that's pretty much what he is. So he trusts him as an opponent. I mean, people can say many things. Like, remember how Julia, on the other hand, I mentioned this about before, last April, she talked about how she never liked the idea of being in a match against Maya Yuki because she never liked her, or Yuki, tried to play all high and mighty with her back in her Ice Ribbon days. But she said she never trusted her, both outside the ring and in the ring. So it would make sense that he views him that, okay, he's a lousy human being, but as a wrestler, I trust him. So he knows the difference between that. So even though he's not like surprised or takes it seriously, but he knows what's at stake. So I'm sure they'll give us one hell of a match when they face off in the finals. So I think that's pretty much it. What we have for everything. We'll keep tabs on the N-1 victory and everything else. But until then, we'll just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we have NXT. We're getting closer and closer to No Mercy, so a lot of things could happen. Now, I know many people are giving speculations that if Roxanne Perez actually wins this match, that's when who will show up. So we will see what happens. until then. But let's just focus on the now. We'll focus on the future when we cross the bridge. But however, I haven't decided yet. I know I was considering reviewing the CML Grand Prix event that took place this past week. I'm thinking about reviewing that, but hopefully it will be a lot of fun because there were a lot of good matches from my understanding, especially who won. But we'll see. So I'll see what I can do at the moment. But for now, we'll just leave things as it is and move forward. Until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.